I'm that bull in the hood. New lamb truck got the bull in the hood. Black and red looking like the bulls hit the hood. 23s, oh, they got the bull sitting good. This game 6, this can't miss. Shooting my shot, wrist hang swish.
What time is it? Game time!
Welcome back, Bulls Nation, to another episode of the Nothing But Bull podcast. I'm your host, Derek, and as always, I'm here with my main man, Just B. Justin, what's going on?
Excited to be back with you all. Y'all been gone for a minute.
And of course, we have Melissa. How's it going?
What up, gang? Good to be back. All-Star break is over. We're back in business. Happy to be back.
Yeah, Justin, you been all right, man? Saying we've been gone for a while.
It feels like y'all just disappeared. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody's been busy with like so many things that were taking place with the All-Star break and people not returning messages.
If you miss us, just say that. You missed us,
Right.
it's okay.
Can I say that? Is this a safe space where I could just be like, I missed you all?
Yes.
Yes, it's a safe
There's always
space.
strength and vulnerability. You know, we missed you too, Justin.
Are you sure? Because I shared my day with you like a few minutes ago and I drove you off of the camera.
I don't know that I was ready for all that. So not to say that I didn't miss you, but I just don't know that I was ready for all that. So I just had to go grab something to munch on. That's all.
I don't recall the missed messages. Do you?
No.
No, I say that because like on Twitter, like, and I don't know if anybody else has been like having this issue where like I will like send people stuff and then I'll see their response pop up like days later. But then when I talk to people, they were like, I'm having this issue with I'm trying to contact people or on my timeline or whatever on my feed, and they're like, these messages are not coming back to me right away. That's what I was alluding to, not any missed messages, like text messages or anything.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. People have been having problems with Twitter. The dude took over. So
Hey, but we got like new font on the app. That's really important. They changed the fonts up.
technical issue due to changing the font. Like, come on, man. You're ruining Twitter.
I do like the messages where they're like, oh, it's nothing that you've done. We're just screwing it up, basically. I don't know if you've seen those messages pop up because I'll like try to refresh and like these two eyes would pop up on the screen and they're like, check back later. You're not doing anything wrong, basically. I don't know if you've all seen that.
I don't know, Justin. I feel like that's isolated. Might be an isolated incident. You're saying two eyes popped up on your screen?
Yes. Like where it was like there was like some kind of like construction or whatever going on where I was trying to like send a message and like the screen was basically like, no, you don't have to do anything over. Like it's just like they're having some difficulties with the site.
Sounds like isolated incident.
I can't say I came across that. I don't know.
Okay. Twitter's trying to like hold me back. All those dangerous tweets I'm sending out about the state of the Bulls.
Way to clean that up.
Yes, it was only Chicago Bulls related.
Clean up crew. Nice one. All those dangerous tweets I was tweeting about the Bulls. Good save.
I mean, it shouldn't be that many dangerous tweets right now because The Bulls are looking good after the All-Star break and signing not Russell Westbrook, but Patrick Beverly, Chicago's own.
Bulls are back. What are they?
Bulls back. Shaking his
Bulls,
head.
Bulls and
No.
4. Bulls and 4.
Well, hey, like in my class, like we've gone over what a pattern is. It's not a pattern until it's been repeated 3 times. So we'll see. I mean, it's all good. Like we've had some blowout wins, 2 wins in a row. But yeah, like this Bulls team is like funny. Like I cannot like understand what is going on with this Bulls team. Like people are saying like we've been like the best defensive team since January. I don't know how to like I don't know what kind of math that we're doing where we're able to like calculate all of that out. Like I feel like we're doing like ancient Egyptian math where like pyramids are being built, where like no one can really explain like how do we have like one of the best defensive ratings for a team that has Vooch, DeMar, and Zach on it? Like I don't quite get how like we've been like a top 10 defense, but apparently since January, the Bulls have been putting out like a great defensive effort. It hasn't necessarily calculated to as many wins, and offensively, we've been one of the worst teams in the league. But with the addition of having Pat Beverly in, it seems to have ignited some type of spark. But our offense is still kind of weird. Like it's just one of those things that I don't quite understand.
I mean,
Some type
our defense has been pretty good for quite a while. It's just been our offense that we haven't been able to figure out. And then like as we talk about every single episode, like the effort and energy has not been there. I don't care about like anything else. Like if it's just like they've been playing like they just do not care anymore. Like they were checked out. So of course the offense isn't going to flow. Everything was just kind of all over the place, but the defense surprisingly had been there. But yeah, we were missing again what we've been talking about every episode. What I always like am talking about is like the leadership aspect of it, like and having like some fight. And as even though this is like a buyout thing, just having Pat there, being as vocal of a leader as he is, and being as tough on people, he's like holding people accountable. That's really all we needed. We've been saying that like this team should be doing much better with the tools, like with what we have. Like we have all of the tools, but just like getting them to mesh and getting them to work together, like they should have been doing more with what they've had. But just having Pat on the team, just being more vocal, holding people accountable. They're like actually communicating. From what I saw on defense, you're hearing them like you're seeing them like communicate with each other and call out plays, switches and stuff. Like we needed a leader, we needed a point guard, we needed somebody to steer the ship and have it all meshed together.
Yeah.
we have a coach now, and his name is
Okay.
Patrick Beverly.
Okay, that I will say, like I do believe like we do have like it's good to have like Pat out there being more vocal. But I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier, Melissa. The defense has been good for a long time, apparently, since like early January. So I'm still trying to understand what effect Pat has had, because like the things that you have mentioned have been primarily from a defensive standpoint. I don't know if the Bulls have necessarily solved anything on offense just yet. I mean, the first game versus Brooklyn, we caught a team that had traded away like, you know, the last pieces of any type of offense that it had and brought in these new guys. But when we looked at that Brooklyn game, the Bulls got out and they ran. Now, Pat had been on that team for what, maybe like 2 days prior to them playing that game. But all of that was pointing back to things that we had talked about before. This team needs to play fast. In that game and in parts of the Washington game, I saw the Bulls get into the flow of their offense and not let the offense stagnate to the point where we were looking at them trying to create a shot with like 7 seconds on the shot clock. They were getting early attempts. Whenever they got a stop, they were running. And they weren't just like running just to run. They were like seemed to be running with more of a purpose. And I haven't necessarily understood the overall impact that Pat is having. Because I hear you saying from a like he's calling people out from a defensive standpoint, but defensively, we have been doing fairly well. Like it said that we've been like I think it was top 5 the last time I looked. Top 5 defense since January. I want to say January the 10th or somewhere in that range. But I still don't understand offensively what it is that this Bulls team is going for, like as far as the identity. And I don't want to be that person who like pours water on the flame or whatever, or anything like that. But it is a little bit alarming that we still don't have a power forward on this team. And now the person who was supposed to be our power forward is relegated to a bench role, which I'm sure will probably be determined based off of matchups that come up in the future when the Bulls start playing bigger lineups. And I'm happy like that they were able to get some kind of flow going with Kobe and with Ayo and with Pat. It's good to see those 3 guys playing well together. I hope that like this leads forward to like creating some type of identity primarily with our bench because our bench had been lacking the past few games. But I don't know, like there still seems to be something that's a little bit off with this team. Even with the last game, you saw like Zach coming out, and Zach has been on fire. He's been playing like lights out the past few games, even though like before that, the All-Star break, we didn't see like it translating to wins. Zach has been playing very well, but there still seems to be something missing with their understanding of what they need to do offensively. And it remains to be seen how Beverly is going to affect that in a positive light, as far as from what I see so far.
Already affected it. He's affected the game from both sides because with Pat starting and with AC starting, you balance out that starting lineup. You got 2 guys that can switch and guard whoever and communicate with the other players to be where they need to be on defense. You got 2 guys that can handle the ball and keep it out of being Zach coming up the court handling the ball and all these turnovers with Zach or DeMar who have to go up the floor and push the pace and go into ISO ball. We haven't seen that. We've seen Zach off ball more, and that's why he's been so efficient these last 2 games. He hasn't had to handle the ball. Patrick Beverly didn't score last game, but he's not really there to score. He can knock down the corner 3, as we saw in the first game. Yeah, he's a lot more confident shooting it than Ayo. So that's how he's affecting it on the offense end, because he's the one that's handling the ball and getting them into their offense a lot quicker because he's constantly talking to everybody on the floor, even when he's not on the floor. He's not sitting on the bench. He's sitting on pads under the backboard so he can still constantly call out plays to everybody that's on the floor. That's why I said we have a coach now, and his name is Patrick Beverly, and he's got a locker full of bubble gum to keep Billy quiet.
It's really what we needed, that leadership. Like for real though, we really just needed the leadership. And we all know that we don't really want Zach to be like dribbling the ball too much. Zach's super athletic, but we just don't want him to be dribbling the ball too much when we have Pat to do that now. He's got that veteran presence. He has very high basketball IQ, which we are very much lacking as a team. That's really all we needed to like kind of help gel things together. I'm not saying that this is going to make us like contenders, but it definitely improves the entire team just adding that one piece, and also a lot of it has to do with just the energy. And I know it's an intangible, but like just having that energy on the floor. Our team has been lacking energy for a very long time. We have that in Woo, we have that in AC, but like Pat is like just a completely different beast. And seeing like AC and Pat together starting, like that's been great. And now we get the young players off the bench. They'll get to develop more, and they don't have to be in with the starters. They'll be able to get more shots off. Pat is like a huge difference maker, and I know that's not something that we could have really seen, but in these 2 games alone, we've seen a completely different team. They've played the best game they've played all season. It's crazy, but I mean, you see what a small difference. We just needed a leader. We just needed a leader. We just needed somebody to run the point with experience, and that's what we have in Pat.
Okay. Now, I hear what you all are saying. And I do feel that Pat has been more like communicative on the court. My thoughts are, though, first game, Pat played 22 minutes. 22 minutes. He's having an effect, but like, is it necessarily an effect from just like him being on the court, or is it just more of an effect of somebody who is on that bench who is getting on guys and telling them what to do?
Well,
And if it's the latter,
it's both.
He's doing it on the court and off the court.
but my thing is, we have Pat and he's doing those things, and he's doing a phenomenal job of doing that in the first like 2 games that we saw. But my point is, why hasn't this been something that could be expressed from the coaching staff?
Because
We're
Billy
not-
sucks.
We're not going to have an answer to that question, because this is the same conversation we've had for a very long time about the coaching staff. Like we've
But
had
do you
the same
see-
conversation about needing leadership, needing vocal
Right
leadership.
there.
Yeah.
Bubblegum. Keep Billy quiet because he's an idiot.
If we
That's what happened.
But what I'm saying is, that first game, it was a blowout. Like the Bulls like were up by a tremendous amount of points. Pat only played 22 minutes. And when you looked at that game, it wasn't just Pat who was like getting guys in the lineup. It was like a whole bunch of guys who knew what they were supposed to be doing on the court. Like Kobe came in and he was in the right position. Aya was in the right position. You saw a good amount of effort from Pat as well, from P. Will. My point is, with him being on the court for 22 minutes and being on this Bulls team for such a limited amount of time, can we just like point to it just being having Pat, or like, is there something else? I don't want to like just say, well, oh, now we have Pat, like everything is like tremendously better. Like what else is it about this team that they need to do to get over the hump? Because is this something that you feel like moving forward, like starting Pat and starting Caruso and going up against these other teams, do you all see like this being something like that the Bulls are going to be able to sustain? Like this is something like moving forward, this is how they are going to play? Or is it solving everything? That's what I'm trying to like get to the point of.
Well, we missed obviously the deadline on signing what we really needed, but in the meantime, I think this is like best case scenario for at least solving like the point guard issue and having again additional any type of energy infused into the lineup on the team and in the locker room, sitting on the bench, or those 20 some plus minutes on the floor, like just having like something new, because obviously what we had was not working. And you saw how defeated they've been playing for how many games. Like that's what was so frustrating to us, because it's just like they weren't even putting in effort. It's one thing if like you're trying and you're failing, but from what the games that I was watching, it didn't even feel like they wanted to be there. Like there was no intensity or urgency to actually win games. And it's only been 2 games, so obviously things can change. But from these 2 games alone, you see a completely different fight in this whole team. And I'd like to attribute that to the new energy that's been brought in to the team, which is in Pat. I'm not saying that he's like the savior, but you see what a difference maker that has been in these 2 games.
Yeah, it's sustainable. Like I said, you have now AC and Pat out there who can switch, and they're making sure Vooch is in the position he needs to be the cleanup guy. Pat out there with AC has P. Will coming off the bench where he should get more shots. He should be able to be more aggressive. We've always thought that he was better coming off of the bench, and now that's the position he's in, to where he's coming off the bench with Io and Kobe and Andre Drummond, and then you have DeMar out there to help with the offense. Yeah, it's been 2 games, but we won by 44 points, and then we won by 20. When's the last time we could say we've won by 44 points? You say our defense has been top 5 since January. We're number 1 right now because we held our last 2 opponents under 90 points. And that hasn't happened since 2017. So immediately, the Patrick Beverley effect has already looked like a whole different team out there. And Adam Amin told me he's a grab you by the collar guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that's going to come up and grab them by the collar and like, what the hell are you doing? You need to go do this. Then that's exactly what he's done these last 2 games. So it doesn't fix everything because we still need a legit power forward, but we can't do anything about that until the offseason. So for right now, like Mel said, this is the best case scenario. And Patrick Beverley is not trying to break his streak of missing the playoffs. So he's on them. Before he even played, he said, I'm going to be on Zach's ass. And you see how Zach has played these last 2 games.
Speak, Justin. I feel like you got to say.
I want to be happy. Like I am happy. Like obviously when you're winning by like what did we win by? It was like
Wait a
44
second.
and 20.
I've been happy these last 2 games. Has this not brought you any sense of joy? Because I've been very happy the last 2 games.
It has been like I'm trying to like I want to be measured in my happiness because like I've already like been like adamant about certain things that I expected to see with this Bulls team this year that have not really materialized the way I wanted it to be. And I don't know, like I'm happy with the energy that Pat is bringing in. It's great. Defensively, it is something that probably can be sustainable if we are able to like not have Caruso like he hit the floor hard on like one of the, like those occasions like where a guy's like knee like landed right on top of like the back of his head, and I was like, oh crap. Like, we don't need like Caruso to like go down for anything. But it's just making me wonder, like, moving forward, the energy has been good these past 2 games, but it's just making me think about, is this something like offensively? There were still some things that I just did not necessarily like in that game versus Washington. Vooch was doing well, and inexplicably we just went away from establishing him. There were times where even Pat had the ball, like, and it would have been prudent for them to really establish Vooch down low. I still saw until like the end of the 3rd quarter, I still saw some of the same habits that this team had before that kind of manifested themselves. And then like, in that third and at the end of the 3rd quarter and the beginning of the 4th, the Bulls were able to push everything, past and get the win. I'm just trying to like make sure that I'm more measured with my happiness. Like I am excited. I am like perfectly happy. We won by like 60 combined points, the or more the past two games. I'm thrilled with that. I'm just trying to like measure it just a little.
I don't have like the highest expectations for the team. All I know is that him being with the Bulls makes the team better. That's all I know. And that's really all I
Well,
care.
that is true. He does make them better. Like competitively, they've been more competitive.
He has like
But and
a tenacity to the game. Like our team has been like dead. Like I was yelling the other episode, like get up, fight back. Like that's what we need. This is what we needed. We needed somebody to fight back. We needed somebody with some bite. We needed somebody with IQ. Like he has basketball IQ. He actually understands when somebody has a hot hand. He understands he's a vet. He's been around for a long time. This solves for a lot of things for the meantime. And like I said, doesn't make it feel like I'm not thinking like I'm joking around when I say Bulls in 4, like doesn't make them contenders, but it definitely makes the team a lot better. And this is like great experience for everybody. It takes the pressure off the rookies too, because now they get to come off the bench. Well, not rookies, but the younger guys. They get to come off the bench. They don't have the pressure of playing with the vets. They get to do their thing. I am thrilled with this signing. I am thrilled with the signing. I'm thrilled with Pat being on the team. It's a great move.
I guess I'm just like
huh?
I'm afraid to like get too like excited. I don't feel like I'm even alone because like when I was watching that Brooklyn game and the Bulls were up by a lot, and like she came out of the room. She's like, "Wait, are you watching a game?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "It's like I don't hear anything." Like the crowd, like just she was like, "It's a crowd into." I'm like, I don't know. Like it just feels like everybody is like, And then like we were able to come away with the win. But
No.
did you all see? Maybe I was by myself, but I had like that volume up, and I was like, even when Pat like got into the crowd and he was trying to get them, excited about the game, I just felt like people were like kind of like, we've seen them have this lead before, so let's like just hold it together. So I guess that's why I'm saying like I'm feeling like I want to just be a little bit more measured before I get overly excited.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like
No.
against the Wizards, like I still was a little nervous, even with like 20-point lead. Like I think that's just it is what it is because we've seen them blow really big leads before. So I get it, I get you, but you can be happy. It's okay to be happy.
I
Like,
am happy, but I said I'm measured in my.
like no, I was there at the Brooklyn game and the crowd was electric. When he did it, everybody was hyped.
Okay.
He got cheered the loudest in the introductions. His first game, everybody already knew what type of energy he was about to bring out there.
No, I meant during the game. Like what on TV, it came off like totally different. I'm not like not trying to say anything, but like when like the crowd was panning out,
People were laughing, they were joking, everybody was in a good mood during that game. We had no like fear of Brooklyn coming back because that's how big that lead was. We were up by 50 at one point. We won by 44. The crowd was in it.
Derek, can you tell us a little bit about like what you noticed too being there at the game against Brooklyn? What did you notice on the bench? Like what kind of activity did you see? Did you feel like anything was different amongst the players from where you can see what we couldn't see on TV?
I noticed that Billy was saying nothing. I mean, I don't think that's much different from what's been going on, but I just seen him standing over there chewing his gum. He's like, like I said, I seen Pat Bev talking to everybody, and he's not sitting on the bench. He's sitting on pads on the floor, so he can stay down on our end of the basket and call out whatever he sees to the other players. He didn't sit down until like Billy cleared the bench, and that's when Pat Bev decided to go actually sit on the bench because he didn't need to do anything else. He knew the game was over. That's the main thing I've noticed different is they have somebody that's out there constantly talking, and he really talks to the younger players. Like even with the Wizard game, we've seen before where we get the lead, the other team fights back, and we fall apart. We fought back, and not only did we fight back, we pushed the lead up to a blowout. So it's looking good with that. That's all I can say.
It was encouraging seeing him. Like there was one shot where all of the starters were on the bench, and it was like just like the reserves in, and all of the starters were talking to each other. I think like Vooch and like Zach were in the background, like laughing it up. Pat was the only one who was on the court, and he was talking to like all of the young guys, who were playing at that time. There might have been like in like just getting over a timeout or something like that. I forget exactly what was happening, but it is good to like have somebody else on that team who is taking on that role, who is, I guess, more or less holding more guys accountable. But it's just been weird because like for me, like I've just been very excited also with the fact that Zach looks healthy. Like he looks explosive. He looks like that player that the Bulls paid over $200 million for. He's been communicating a lot too. Especially on defense. Like he's been all over the place on defense. And also, I have been very happy with what I've seen out of Kobe these past few games, especially in that Wizards game. There was this one play where Kobe was on the baseline and he drove to the basket, and it was one of those plays where he didn't score, but he whipped the ball right to Caruso for an open three. And that just like it really pointed to like the development that I've seen out of Kobe, especially this year, where before it's like he's going down with the head of steam. He has absolutely no understanding of where guys are at. But as soon as he made that play, he knew exactly the guy that he needed to get the ball to, because he knew that by making that play, what the defensive reaction was going to be. And he even made the look. He was like barely even looking at Caruso out of the corner of his eye, and the pass was just pinpoint. So I've been like very happy with Zach's play and with the response level, the mentality level of Kobe this year has just been off the charts.
Definitely agree. I mean, Kobe's been playing great. He's worked on his handle. He's worked on his defense. Zach's also been playing better defense. I mean, the team as a whole has played better defensively in these last two games, and it's the Pat Bev effect. I mean, Zach said he was trying to get Pat Bev on the team for like 2 years now. That should tell you like the respect that the players have for him and his basketball IQ, and they will actually listen to him, unlike listening to Billy Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Bev effect. Pat told him, "You better play Drummond because he killed the Nets." But those are the kind of things where I'm like, okay, they ran. It was good to see them running. They played Drummond, who got guys in foul trouble, who, it made it a lot more difficult for the team to have to adjust to the speed that the Bulls were playing with. So I'm happy. I am happy. I'm trying not to be like
happy.
I'm measured happy. Yes.
I'm just happy.
Same.
I'm just very happy. That's all. I'm not measuring it. I'm not containing my joy.
We are a half game out of the play-in now, which should put an end to the we should tank talk because obviously that's not going to happen. They're pushing for this playing maybe the playoffs. Maybe they catch teams sleeping, the Nets start falling, who knows? But
I'm excited to see this Lakers game too. Side note, because Pat was adamant about not wanting the Lakers in the playoffs, so I'm pretty excited about the Lakers game too.
a report came out earlier that said that the Lakers want to play the Kings because they're an inexperienced team. And I'm like, you guys are 12. You're not in anything yet. How are you coming up with who you want to play? Like, you got to get in first. And Pat Bev has made it his mission to make sure that that does not happen.
Wait, are we playing the Lakers soon?
Yeah, we have 2 games to play against the Lakers.
Oh, okay. That's at like the tail end of
I know one of
tail
them
end of
at the end of
March.
March.
Okay. Pat looking ahead on the schedule? Can't be doing that.
The
Gotta
people
take this one game at a time.
they circle dates on their calendar all the time. He's got those circled.
We gotta take this one game at a time.
The Lakers need to take it one game at a time, where they're looking into the play-in playoffs, deciding who they would like to play first.
That is crazy. Like all year long, Sacramento has been like one of the better teams in the NBA, especially from a defensive standpoint. So that is pretty interesting because Mike Brown has them playing really good defense. So, and the Lakers still can't shoot.
I mean,
I can't believe he's looking all the way down to like the 26. That's crazy.
got that
A
date
little bit has
circled.
to do with like I'm trying to plan a watch party too, so maybe a little bit has to do with that also. And it's against the Lakers. It's the 26th on Sunday, which you guys should be coming in town for.
Like, I was just there. I'll be back
You'll
Friday.
be back like 3 times
Like,
in a month.
Wait, your
I
watch
told y'all
party
just
is on the
you just might as well
29th?
move here. Stop playing these games.
easier said than done.
Is that the 29th?
The 26th, Sunday the 26th.
Oh, okay.
I've actually had somebody message me about that and like, you got to be there. I know you're going to be there at Melissa's watch party.
Oh,
Like,
your audio went out. Derek, your audio went out.
can you hear me?
Mm-mm. Not you pulling at me.
What about now?
Oh, you're back.
Okay.
You're back.
You're
There we
saying somebody was saying you got to be there. Go ahead.
Yeah, somebody messaged me on the Discord. They're like, I know you're going to be at Melissa's watch party. You got to be there. I'm like, dude, like I'm going to be up there twice already.
So make it 3. What's the problem? 3P.
Flights are not cheap.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Got to come back up November for Alexa's wedding, Lex and Carlos.
True.
So yeah, don't think I'm gonna be up there for the watch party, unfortunately.
Make it happen. You make it happen, then I'll make it happen.
We can always do the GoFundMe. You might as well just start walking.
Really?
Yeah, but realistically, I think like, the Bulls do have a shot at passing a few of these teams. I mean, there's a lot of transition that's going on. Like the Hawks just got a brand new coach. Their coach is fired. Brooklyn has a whole bunch of new players that are not used to playing with each other. And the Heat seem to be on like a slide. Like there's still time for there to be a lot of movement that's going on around the Eastern Conference that the Bulls could make their way in there.
Yeah, man. Like last night's win was huge because if we lost that game, we would have been 3 losses behind the Wizards, and they would have won the season series 3-1. Since we won that game, we're half game behind them now for that final play-in spot. The season series is 2-2, but because we have a better record against the East, we now hold the tiebreaker over the Wizards. So getting into the play-in at least seems very doable.
I mean, we've been saying it.
Yeah.
We have the talent. We have the talent to do better than we've been doing. We have a lot of great pieces, but it was just a matter of like getting them to gel and getting them motivated, putting some spark in there. So I think we have a chance too.
It's strange because like I thought like I don't remember like the Bulls playing against Bradley Beal this year aside from that last game. So it's weird like hearing that record like that we could have been down 3-1 in our series against them.
I think he played in 2.
Did he?
So, but nobody's concerned about Bradley Beal. It was Porzingis that was doing damage against Vooch, and he did not play yesterday. Nor did Monte Morris, who like would light us up as well. So nobody cares about Bill. Bill doesn't want to be there, but he keeps signing contracts. It's like when Melo had the opportunity to come to Chicago and he chose to resign with New York. Playing for the money gets you nothing but money.
I'm about to get you
No
money.
rings. No rings. So
Playing for the money gets you nothing.
gets you nothing but money. You get no rings, no hardware from the NBA.
Hey, and make that money as much as you can. Just ask Latrell Sprewell. Got children to feed.
Oh. That's quite a reference. You might need to break that one down for a lot of people.
Oh man. We played a back-to-back starting tomorrow. We have the Raptors, who are in the 9th seed right now. So that's going to be a pretty important game. And then we have the 15 and 46 Pistons.
I always feel like the Pistons play us tough though. Like always.
We've won 13 straight against the Pistons.
I still feel like they play us tough.
Play as tough as they may. They ain't winning.
That Pat Beverly effect already got you talking trash.
And I absolutely love it.
We got to find a way to get Pat on the show.
I'm telling you, just a little bit. Just everybody's got pep in their step again, all the way down to the fans. Bulls in 4.
Closing out the week, we've got the Phoenix Suns. The new looks Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant.
I don't know about that one, but
yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think anybody knows about that one just because you have Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy.
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
But I ain't guaranteeing that one. And then we have the Pacers on Sunday.
I think
That's a tough.
just
That's
before-
tough to end your week that way.
my only worry is about the Suns. I think we can take the other two teams.
Wait, is that the one that your friend is going to be doing like the were they going to be doing like the sign language for were you all going to that one? I want to say, were you all going to that game?
We will be there.
Man,
I'll be there for Suns and the Pacers.
I gotta move.
You should move.
How are you affording these trips,
All need
Derek?
to
Like,
move
you gotta hook
to
me up.
Chicago.
Hook me up, Derek. Tell me how you're doing it. Because I was looking at like trying to catch a flight out there for that Phoenix game, and I was like, I can't do this.
On the flight for the Phoenix game, staying and through the Pacers game.
Derek owns a Bulls merchandise store. I don't know if you've ever seen all the drip, but that's a lot. Go shopping. You can go shop with Derek.
Maybe.
Drip God. Undisputed. That's right.
I'm not going to argue that.
We're waiting for somebody to answer.
Oh yeah, what's going on with that?
We don't know.
He who shall remain nameless.
We're not going to call Hayes out. I'm not going to call him out.
People say they want smoke, and then they sit in the no smoking section. That's all I know.
I need to see this happen. We got to make this happen, you guys. We got to make this happen. I think this is what the people want. We got to give the people what they want.
Yeah, it was on UK Bulls podcast with Jimmy, and he alluded to this as well, that it has to happen. And as I said there, I'm waiting.
So we got to like clip a little bit of this episode, throw it out there.
We need to have a
YouTube short.
crossover episode where the podcast just like merge.
That'd be fun.
Works for me.
Okay.
So yeah,
What are your predictions?
that's exactly what I was going to.
I said 2-1. I don't know about I'm not that confident about
4
the Suns
games.
game, but okay. Go over all the games with me again.
Raptors, Pistons, Suns, Pacers.
I'll go 3-1.
Chess.
Since the Bulls got a brand new coach, I'll go 4-0.
Ooh.
No, don't doubt me. That like because like before y'all were like, oh nah, he's
Say it
he's
with
not
your
excited.
chest.
So
Say
I'm
it with your
excited
chest,
now.
Justin.
So that's what I'm doing. 4-0. Yeah.
Before Justin said it with his chest, I was going to agree with you and go 4-0. The Suns, I think, is the iffy one, but 4-0.
Yeah, but Durant hasn't played a game yet this year with them, correct? So might that be like the first game that he plays with them?
I thought he played with them.
Did
I think
he?
played.
I think
Let
he
me go
is. I think he
I don't
is.
remember them because I know they lost against the Bucks without Giannis. That's not saying much.
Let's see, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I don't see Durant with the last game that they played against the Bucks. That's why I was saying I didn't think that he joined them yet, but maybe he did.
I remember it said he was supposed to make his debut. I think it was what, Friday.
All I know is that they did not win against Giannis, a Giannis-less Bucks. I
Okay,
don't think
no,
that they played yet.
yeah, he's now. So he's supposed to make his debut on March 1st in Charlotte.
Mm.
Oh yeah, Charlotte. So you can get all the accolades when they play against like a team that's won like what 19 games. I don't know like what their I don't know what their record is. I'm just like guessing off the top of my head.
It's probably around that. The Charlotte Hornets are 19-43.
Are you serious? You know that's what they do. Like they sneak them in against one of the lowly teams so they can hype everybody up. They're not gonna have them come out versus one of the top teams, have them fail, and then watch out. That was a good guess, man.
Yeah, right on the money.
Can't believe that.
So yeah, hopefully next episode we will be back talking about 4 more straight wins because of the Pat Bev effect.
We got to shout out Zach too, by the way. He became the 10th all-time leading scorer for the Bulls.
Oh yeah.
Passing D Rose.
Mm-hmm. We don't have to say that part.
They got
Who
it.
the hell-
It's
D
Who
Rose
did he pass?
forever.
right. It's history. He passed D Rose.
D Rose forever. You can't even see my shirt. See this? You see this?
Yeah, I see a MVP. Still the youngest MVP ever, but he's
Right.
now 11th on the Bulls top scoring list.
Yeah.
Zach, I mean, he still has quite a ways to catch Michael Jordan. Not going to happen, but
Who's next on the list after D Rose? Any guesses?
I don't know. I'll look it up though.
it's crazy. I should know this because I just saw it not too long ago.
I mean, no matter what anybody says about Zach, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a great accomplishment.
Yeah. Not like Zach has been here for forever.
Where is this list?
Reggie Theus
Is it Reggie?
is 9th. You're asking who's next or who's before?
Yeah, who's next?
Who's next?
Reggie Theus. So Zach is 8,002 points, and then Reggie Theus 8,279 points at 9th.
Yeah, he'll pass him.
Either that or we just bring Derrick Rose back.
So Derek can try to pass Zach.
Yes. Did you see that video? Side note, I know kind of steering away from Bulls, but kind of not really. Did you see that video of him checking in for the Knicks?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
He gets so much love.
He deserves it.
As he should. Right. He should be playing more.
Tibbs.
Mhm.
That's surprising, and like that's his boy, and Tibbs is not playing.
Yeah.
But he had a chance to leave though, right? I mean, he could have asked for a buyout. So he must want to be there.
I think it was still talks of him possibly being bought out and that the Suns were interested in him if he's brought out.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, the positive thing is that like with where his career is at, he seems happy, you know. And you see like a lot of players who like had like so much of this athletic promise like before him, and he doesn't look like he's like thinking about like the past or whatever. Like he just seems like he's settled. Like not like he's like doesn't want to play, but he just seems like, you know,
Like
reserved and
at
happy in the
peace.
spot. Yeah, at peace with where he's at. And that's the cool thing because like a lot of players who come out with like his type of athletic ability, you know, that you see it like a lot of guys like they go through an injury like that or injuries like that and it derails their career somewhat. But he was still able to like turn himself into a very productive player. He's still playing at a somewhat high level the last time that we saw him on the court. So as long as he's happy, I think it's still a good story.
I don't know. I never thought that Derrick Rose would be using the Brian Scalabrine role, where he's like, we're up by so many points. Let's put Derrick Rose in so appease the crowd. Do you remember those days where we were up and then the crowd is just chanting for Scalabrine of all people to come in, and then he gets this loud ovation when Tibbs puts him in? That shouldn't be his role.
You just killed my happiness for it. Like I was trying to create like a moment to close out the show. You just like no, just killed that. Mood killer, Derek. Mood killer.
D Rose demands more respect than that role. I mean, if you're not going
Need
to
a
play
sign
him,
that says this guy.
you're not going to play him. Let him come here. They can put his jersey up in the rafter.
He can't come here, Derek. We have
Chill.
like 10,000 guards on our team already.
But
What does it have to do with him coming here to
Rose.
put his jersey in the rafter? Because if he's happy not playing, then he might as well just come here, get his jersey retired, and then go off and be happy not playing. That's what I'm pretty sure he still wants to play, and not what Tibbs is giving him.
Moment over. We still love you, Derek. Rose, that is.
Well, yeah, as I was saying, hopefully Pat Bev effect continues, and we'll be talking about 4 more wins the next time we do an episode. And until then, go Bulls.
Bulls and 4, go Bulls.
Then it's game over. The horn blows.